Robert Plant was once asked a question that stopped him cold. Not about music, not about records or sold-out stadiums, but something far more personal. Someone looked at him and said, "Who are the 5 people you've loved the most?" And for a man who's spent decades fielding questions about Led Zeppelin, that one hit differently. Because talking about music is easy. You can debate songs and albums all night. But when you start talking about the people who genuinely shaped your life, you're no longer talking about rock and roll. You're talking about something that actually matters. Plant has been clear. He didn't choose these 5 because they were famous. He chose them because, looking back across everything, they're the ones still standing in his memory. The first name that came to mind was Phil. After Zeppelin ended, Plant found himself in unfamiliar territory. No clear plan, no band, just a famous name and a lot of questions he didn't have answers to. Phil showed up during that uncertainty and simply played. No pressure, no grand expectations, no attempt to fill shoes that couldn't be filled. He brought energy, laughter, and an ease that made music feel enjoyable again, rather than like some enormous statement about the past. Plant has said the people you truly remember aren't always the ones who show up when everything is going well. They're the ones who arrive when the room goes quiet. Phil did that. Then there's Allison. She came from a completely different musical world, one built on delicate harmonies and the weight of a single note. Working together, there was no pressure to recreate old glories. They could simply ask whether something felt right. Plant has spoken about how valuable it is to have someone around who isn't impressed by your history. Someone who listens to what's happening in the room right now, not what happened 30 years ago. Allison opened a door, he said, at a time when he could easily have spent the rest of his life looking backward. Jimmy is complicated, and Plant doesn't pretend otherwise. Decades of closeness, creative electricity, genuine friction, and everything in between. What he comes back to isn't the grand mythology. It's being young, the 2 of them figuring things out together, with no idea where it was all heading. Very few people alive remember that version of Robert Plant. Jimmy does. John Bonham was there before any of it meant anything. Before America, before the fame, before anyone cared who they were. Just 2 lads from the Midlands making noise. Plant has said that what he misses isn't the legendary drummer the world remembers. It's the laugh, the ordinary moments, the friend who knew him before there was anything to be impressed by. And then there's Karak, Plant's son, who died at just 5 years old. There are no easy words here. Plant has spoken about how losing a child that young means you're left with only a handful of moments, and somehow those moments become everything. He's acknowledged that the song All My Love came from somewhere far more personal than rock and roll. Karak, he said simply, is still his boy. Looking back now, Plant says it isn't the noise he values, it's the people who made him laugh when he didn't feel like laughing, the ones who knew him before the world did. If that moved you, leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss more stories like this one.